Well, up first, we have a couple weather stories as it's been a crazy 24 hours. Hello, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Jurnee Taylor.
And I am Hoyt. It's another hot day here in central Arkansas. With the heat comes drought. And that's the reason Conway Corps has elevated its water restrictions. Lake levels have improved slightly, but not enough to avoid any tighter limits.
Tonight, THV 11's Maya Ellison has a closer look at what the changes mean.
Now, just a few months ago, much of this area was underwater, but as you can see, it's completely uncovered because of drought conditions, as Conway Corps officials tell me. And even though there was a little rainfall that came, they say it still wasn't enough, leading to where we are now, phase 2 of a curtailment.
This is one of the dry starts to the year on record. We were at 318.6, and we got a few inches of rain last week, and it took us to 320.2.
But even with that slight bump, the lake remains roughly 10 feet below where it needs to be, prompting an involuntary curtailment on June 1st.
So we're asking all of our customers, residential, commercial, industrial, all of them to be mindful of their water consumption.
Moving out of voluntary conservation means homeowners must follow strict watering guidelines.
You can only water 3 days a week. So if you're have an even number address, street number, then you can water Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I'm sorry, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then if you have an even number address or an odd number address, it's the opposite days, but no watering at all on Wednesday.
Conway County Regional Water Districts share the lake and are moving in lockstep to enforce matching cutbacks. It's a reality that has neighboring residents on edge. We heard from one of those residents last month.
Out here in the country where we have our water pumped into towers, once we go out, we're out a lot longer than everybody else.
While local businesses tell me they haven't felt the impact just yet, the real anxiety stems from the calendar.
We've had droughts before. We'll have droughts again. But the timing of this one is at the beginning of the summer, which is a little unusual. But it's just the timing of it.
I asked Carol whether or not homeowners or customers could face consequences if they don't follow the guidelines. Under City Ordinance 99-74, failing to follow the mandates could result in a misdemeanor charge or a loss of water service. He emphasizes they hope to avoid penalties and are leaning heavily on community cooperation, waiting on a shifting weather pattern to fill the lake back up. In Conway, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
All right, Maya, thank you. Well, Carol says they have prepared for months ahead in the case of continued drought conditions. For more information on what these guidelines mean, because it's a lot at this point, you can just head over to our website. That is thv11.com.
Yeah, I got all that. No sprinkling on Wednesdays, but let's bring in meteorologist Nathan Scott. Nathan, any rain in the forecast that could improve those conditions up there?
Well, no rain anytime soon because we have a front that's making its way through. That's what produced those severe thunderstorms last evening that got quite spicy across the region. But look at the benefits behind that frontal passage. It's a little bit cooler out there, and it feels much better compared to just 24 hours ago. So now we're 10 degrees cooler here in Little Rock, 11 degrees cooler in Arkadelphia, 19 degrees cooler in Texarkana. They almost got to 100 degrees yesterday, by the way. And your dew points have also dropped. So when you step outside, you're feeling less humidity in the air. Here's the radar loop. Pretty quiet across most of the natural state. There were some showers and thunderstorms rolling through southwest and west Arkansas earlier this afternoon. The only leftover showers now lined up extreme southern parts of the state, and then one lone shower still lingering across parts of Stone County. So this is drifting its way Turkey Creek, Rushing. If it holds together, it may affect you folks in Shirley with a quick downpour if it survives the trip. Lows tonight. Cooler, dry air bleeding its way in. The numbers starting off Wednesday morning into the low to mid 60s, maybe upper 50s for Batesville and North Arkansas. And tomorrow, temperatures comfortable for this time of year into the mid 80s, but it's going to be even less humidity out there. So that's going to feel much nicer. This type of air mass will not stick around very long. I'll let you know when the unsettled weather returns and when that humidity also returns coming up.
But let's look back at the stormy night 24 hours ago. Lightning taking over the skies across much of our region, dropping a lot of rain, concentrated in spots, leaving even more damage.
THV 11's Carter 3 is live at a house in Saline County that is proof of that. Carter, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, this home is in the East End community here in Saline County, and firefighters tell me that all this damage you see was caused by a lightning strike just before 9 p.m. They responded here off Highway 167 for a firefight that they said was difficult due to the intense rain, lowering visibility, and when the rain and smoke cleared, they were left with this. You can see that the roof is completely gone in some places, and there's debris all over the ground here, and so this was definitely a tough fight for these firefighters, and unfortunately, they told me that there was going to be no saving this home.
So the house will end up being a total loss due to the combination of the fire along with the water damage. The entire attic burned on the house.
This is just a really tragic situation here, but neighbors are stepping in to help. There's a GoFundMe for this family that's already raised close to $8,000, and the link to that is now on our website, thv11.com. Reporting here in Saline County, I'm Carter Thweet with THV11 News.
All right, Carter, thank you. Well, we have a news update. After 74 of 78 girls state counselors for the 2026 session quit, alleging body shaming, misogyny, and mistreatment, well, the American Legion Auxiliary is speaking out, saying those claims are false. They sent us a statement in part that the committee stands firmly by the integrity of its volunteers. You can find the full statement on our website, that is thv11.com.
Hey, a special election wraps up tonight in Pope and Van Buren counties. This to fill the seat left vacant by the death of State Representative Stan Berry. 4 Republican candidates you see there on your screen on the ballot. Voters will narrow it down to 2 options. They'll also decide who will finish Berry's term and who will run in November for a new term. All 4 have touted their opposition to abortion and support of gun rights, and also are heavily focused on tax cuts.
A federal judge has denied a long-shot attempt by former Arkansas reality TV star Josh Duggar to get his conviction overturned. He's serving a 12.5-year sentence for sex crimes involving a child.
Duggar's request comes 4 years after a jury found him guilty. Earlier appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court fell flat back in 2024. Under federal law, after that higher court denial, Duggar had just a year to file a motion to vacate his sentence.
But a federal judge recently ruled Duggar didn't get his motion in the mail on time. He's expected to be released in 2033.
Well, new data shows that methamphetamine has overtaken fentanyl as the leading drug involved in overdose deaths here in Arkansas.
Yeah, and officials say the change presents new challenges for prevention and treatment. Jada Daniels spoke with state crime lab leaders about why these meth-related deaths are on the rise.
While fentanyl remains a deadly threat, leaders at the Arkansas State Crime Lab say methamphetamine is now playing a larger role in fatal overdoses across the state. According to the Arkansas Crime Lab, data shows methamphetamine involvement in drug-related deaths rose nearly 10% this year.
Methamphetamine involvement in drug-related deaths rose from 47% in 2023 to 54% this year to date, compared to fentanyl involvement, which was at 43% in 2023 and now is significantly decreased at 16%.
Crime Lab Director and Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Theodore Brown says what makes this trend concerning is that methamphetamine overdoses don't have the same emergency treatment options available for opioids.
We know that naloxone is good at potentially reversing the effects of a fentanyl or opioid-related overdose. However, when someone overdoses on methamphetamine, there is no reversal agent.
That's why he says tracking emerging drug trends is critical. He hopes identifying shifts in drug use earlier can help communities respond before more lives are lost.
Our goal here at the Arkansas State Crime Laboratory is very straightforward. We want to identify drug trends earlier. We want to raise awareness sooner, and we want to partner with champions to intervene faster and ultimately save lives.
Those at the State Crime Lab stress that both drugs and synthetic mixes continue to pose serious risk.
Well, tonight, the Little Rock Board of Directors are meeting to discuss limits and restrictions on proposed data centers. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. wants new zoning rules in place despite votes to approve one project slated for the Port of Little Rock.
And it comes after Pulaski County leaders nearly put a 12-month moratorium on similar projects set for the Wrightsville area. THC11's Catherine Rowley is at tonight's City Board meeting. She'll bring us more tonight at 10.
Also still to come here at 6, excitement building at the Little Rock Zoo with a new animal coming soon. More on the capybara craze after the break.
Drier air from the northeast and east will keep the rain chances at bay all the way through the rest of the work week. But then by the weekend, those rain chances start to ramp up once again. I'll have a look at future radar and talk more about temperatures, which will be going up, coming up next.